What if every street corner had a story? Every day, thousands of us walk past historic buildings, old laneways, and familiar neighborhoods without realizing the remarkable people and events that shaped them. My guest today has made it his mission to bring those stories back to life. Joining me is Morgan Cameron Ross, creator of the hugely popular Old Toronto and Old Canada series, where history comes alive. For nearly a century, Bosley has been helping to shape the landscape of Canadian real estate. This podcast is an extension of that legacy, our way of staying connected to what matters most to you. Join us as we sit down with leading voices from across the industry and beyond to explore the ideas, trends, and stories that move real estate forward. Whether you're an agent, investor, homeowner, or just curious about the market, there's something here for you. Hi, Morgan.
How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
I'm personally pretty excited because we've had a pretty good long-standing relationship.
I've known you for almost as long as I've known my wife.
Oh, really?
Very different feelings about you, but I really do like you as well.
Okay, beautiful. Well, it's been a really fun working relationship, and we're really excited to have you on the show. So, for those who have not discovered Old Toronto, Old Ontario, Old Canada, this is Morgan Ross.
Morgan Cameron Ross.
Thank you very much. Morgan Cameron Ross, the historian behind all of the information, including videography and creative, right?
Yeah, I do. A large amount of things.
You do. So why don't we start there? If I was to say, who is Morgan Cameron Ross, what would you say?
Oh, that's a deep question. So I run Old Toronto series. I now have Old Canada series, Old Ontario series. It started as just a passion project. I was a musician. I wanted to leave that world. So I went back to grad school and stuff, did history, Canadian history. So I started Old Toronto series as just like a hobby, but people liked it and it kept growing. And then I realized it's fun and interesting for me, but also I really take pride in teaching people about the history of their city, their country. But I also think there's a lot of value add in terms of the more people know about their community, the more they care about their community. And the more people care about their community, more likely they are to pick up garbage, care for people. So I think there's a ripple effect. So it's a bit deep.
So
My answer was a bit deep there. Yeah, or continue on with it. That's what inspired me to keep doing it. And now it's like a bigger project. It's my living. And I've worked with you guys with Bosley Real Estate for years now. And I've really liked working with you guys because you guys kind of let me tell an authentic story. You don't give me parameters. And I'm able to tell the story of so many different neighborhoods that really have never been kind of given that time or respect. So
I think you've done something like 40 videos for us, probably even more.
I think more.
Yeah.
Probably more. And we've highlighted a lot of neighborhoods, especially in Toronto, but years later, people are still watching those videos, and I always look at myself and I'm like, oh, why was I wearing that? But but the story is
this
being
is why
told.
you keep asking me for an update.
Oh yeah, exactly. So, but it's cool because it lingers on. These videos linger on, and we still are telling the story of these neighborhoods, and it goes back to our partnership of you guys helping facilitate that. So I'm really proud of it.
Good. So am I. Thank you. So I think you've mentioned in that opener there that you have worn an exceptional number of creative hats, right? You've been a musician, you've been an actor, you're a historian, you're a filmmaker. So in all of the things that you do creatively or have done, what version feels most authentically you these days?
These days, I love being the history guy. I really do. I like being the music guy in my youth. But now that I'm older and, more boring and little less attractive, being the history guy is okay with me. I'll let the young guys have the glory. But telling the story of history is I really like it and I care about it. And I was talking to a friend recently, and he doesn't like his job. I don't blame him. It's not a great job, but he always says like, Morgan, you like love what you do, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, oh yeah, like don't doesn't everybody love what they do? And then I'm like, that's probably not the case. But telling the story of history and having people learn about things is like a big source of pride for me.
Okay. Well, and you have a massive following, right?
Yeah, I think it's like 1.8 million Canadians right now.
Yeah.
Um, Entirely just my mom setting up different accounts to support me, but no, it's all over the country and different demographics and ethnic groups and
Yeah.
all these things, and that's something important to me.
And so you've spent years telling the story of Toronto specifically. Has that story changed you at all?
Yeah, I'm like, I really love Toronto. It's like a source of pride, which is weird because like I hated Toronto for most of my life because I'm from Vancouver. And when
Okay.
you're from Vancouver, the Leafs suck. Toronto sucks. Blue Jays are awesome. Um, but when I moved here, I had a chip on my shoulder, and I had no clue why.
Hmm.
It's just like I think because Toronto is just this behemoth culturally and financially and stuff like that. Everyone's like, "Oh, Toronto's the center of the universe," but it kind of is when you get here, and all of a sudden there's opportunities and different multicultural everything. Like people come here. There's also a lot of ambitious people that come to Toronto. Most of my friends aren't from Toronto here. A lot of my friends are from Vancouver and Winnipeg or wherever, but like people that are kind of ambitious. I'm generalizing, but there's a lot of ambitious people in Toronto,
Mm-hmm.
and Toronto has like a fascinating history of like, you know, good history, bad history, but like an interesting history.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I learn something new about Toronto like 5 times a day. I
Okay.
really do. The more you look into something, the more you realize you don't know anything about it.
Right. And so over your time researching it, fair to say that you've removed the chip and you've developed a
Mostly.
real pride.
The Leafs
The
are still
Leafs.
complicated,
Yeah.
but the Canucks are even worse. So
Yeah. I can't talk about the Leafs. It's all that's spoken about in my household, and it is infuriating. So, getting back to the history behind it, every episode does sort of feel like you're uncovering a hidden piece of the city, right? That's part of what I love about the episodes. So, how do you decide in your research what stories are worth telling?
I like when I'm kind of highlighting a neighborhood or whatnot. I like kind of getting the general history, but then kind of like picking things that I find are representative of that kind of neighborhood. And then I try to at least weave a bit of a story into it. One thing that's important to me is kind of telling the story of kind of the successes, but also like the vulnerabilities of those neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my background is in Canadian immigration history, so I literally love the stories of new immigrant populations and stuff like that. So, you know, a lot of Toronto neighborhoods have origins within different immigrant populations going there or whatnot. So, telling that story is really important, in my opinion, because there are things that we can learn from these stories.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's just so many different things we can extrapolate from the stories of neighborhoods. And I really do feel like pretty much every neighborhood is interesting. There's a couple that I find less interesting,
Yeah.
but I mean, everything's fascinating in my opinion. So
So, I mean, you would have to believe that to be a historian, which I truly don't understand because I failed history. But what I would
you
ask
can fail, but still
is
care about history and know about history.
I think history is fascinating. I just don't want to learn it from a textbook.
Yeah.
And you have a way of weaving stories that display very clearly the history and the impact that history has on where we are today, but in a much more entertaining and light-hearted manner.
Yeah, I think one thing that I like to do is like make things a bit interesting, but also get some substance in there
Hmm.
too. Because, I mean, what I've learned is people really care about being respected by what people are telling them. Meaning that if I'm telling them some actual history and some hard truths, some interesting things, but I'm also making it engaging, I would say like 10 out of 10 people respect that I'm talking to them in as adults,
Right.
telling something substantive. So like even talking to younger people, they love what I do.
Hmm.
Like it's wild. The amount of teenage boys and young undergrad boys that lose their mind when they see me is pretty awkward. It's not ideal, but what it shows me is the fact that like young people really care about history. It's just people haven't been telling them that.
Right.
So one thing I really care about is like presenting history in a way that's consumable where like I always say this, I want it to be like my grumpy old Portuguese neighbor likes it and like the problematic um young teenage boy down the road that annoys me also finds it interesting. You
Is
know,
it likely that your grumpy Portuguese neighbor is going to listen to this
yeah.
podcast?
Oh,
Oh.
this podcast, I don't know. He doesn't know what a podcast is, but like
Okay.
when I'm doing one thing I've been fascinated by is how many older people have like Instagram and Facebook that I'm like, how do you know what Instagram is? Right.
Yes.
But they do. Um, so I always see these comments of like, I'll post something of like Central Tech School in 1946. And people will be like, oh my God, I went there like 10 years after there. It looked the same. Like, I look at the timeline and I'm like, there's a 90-year-old typing right now.
Mm.
And I'm so fascinated by that. So it's for as much as we don't think um, older people are online,
Mm.
they sure are. Maybe it's because I'm doing history and they're like, oh, yes,
I think also
I remember that.
more so than our demographic, probably because,
I mean, you're
there's a
much
lot of
younger than me. So,
exploration.
like, you're like much younger demographic.
I feel like we're the same demographic, but
Yeah, it's
I
just a
like
polite thing
that.
to say, though.
Thank you. That was so nice. So listen, can we go back to this immigration history for a
Yeah.
minute? I believe you made a comment that to me sounded like you were saying that when you do your research as a historian, you're always surprised by the much larger impact that that piece of history has in today's environment. Is that a fair summary of what you were trying to
Yeah. I
convey?
mean, I think that's one thing to take from it.
But can you give me an example of one story that really kind of sat with you?
So I live in Little Portugal, and I've really latched onto the story of the Portuguese immigrant experience. It all kind of started when I realized that the Little Portugal is actually more or less Little Azores, because almost all the people that live in Little Portugal right now, along Dundas and Ossington area, come from the Azores, which is small islands, off the coast of Africa. I've been to the Azores, San
Hmm.
Miguel, and it's like mythical looking. It's a lovely place. We're planning to go there maybe in a few weeks. It's just so beautiful. But what piqued my interest is the fact that I just thought it was the Portuguese mainland, and it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't. It's the Azores. And then I look into the Azores, and it's like traditionally very impoverished people. So I'm like, who don't necessarily get along with the mainland Portuguese because there's some tensions over history, stuff like that. And so, whatever. I'm just saying, like, that's how I got interested in it, and it's like a Pandora's box. Once I find something interesting, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna be like learning more. So I find the new immigrant experience in Toronto, like, or anywhere, just to be very interesting. So many different groups came here as vulnerable groups, and it's an interesting story.
Okay. So, what's one story specifically in Toronto, let's say, that completely surprised you while researching it?
Oh God, there's like 8 million. Um, I mean, there's so many little anecdote things or like snapshots. I live near Ossington, so it's like the fact that Muhammad Ali trained there for like 2 weeks in the 60s before he fought Chuvalo at Maple Leaf Gardens, like that for me is one of like just the cooler ones of like, oh my gosh, Muhammad Ali was like where I walk my dog, you know? And there's so many little stories that came from things like that. So for 2 weeks, Muhammad Ali's training at Sully's gym on Ossington, and the little kids in the neighborhood would go and wait for him to come out, obviously, and then you could for $1 go up and watch him train. I mean, $1's a lot for these like Italian, Portuguese young kids, but they would go up there. And at the end of the day, Muhammad Ali's manager would keep half the money, and Ali would take a few $100s, go down to the street, and have the kids do like races or whatever, and he would give out all that money.
Okay.
So there's hundreds of kids with stories about making $10 from Muhammad Ali because they won this like running race or whatever.
Mhm.
It's just so cool because
Yeah.
it's kind of ingrained itself into the story of that neighborhood for the people that live or lived there.
Where do you keep all of these random
Oh,
facts?
I know a lot of weird things.
Yeah. Do you
It's
just store
weird.
it all in there?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
do you have a
literally in there.
journal somewhere? It's just
It's
ingrained
like
in there.
it's weird. I can
Okay.
tell you some weird stuff that I should have forgotten. But I also literally forget everything I'm supposed to do according to my wife, and she's
Right.
super correct on that.
I'm going to circle back to one of my favorite videos that you did, which was the top 10 most forgotten buildings or something in Toronto.
Yeah, the upsetting thing.
Loved it. It was so
Yeah,
good.
I mean, it's upsetting because I'm showing buildings that are lost and not there anymore. But it's an interesting thing. I like countdowns, so I'm like, okay. And I
Mhm.
picked that countdown. I picked the top 10 lost buildings in Toronto history, and I had to choose which number. And I was like, whatever I pick, some people are going to be mad at me because I'm leaving other buildings out, which is inevitable on the internet. But it's important to acknowledge these things. Some of the buildings are newly gone. Honest
Mhm.
Ed's, Ontario Place
Mhm.
is pretty much gone. And it's a touchy subject for some of these things.
Yeah. And I think it's a prime example of, how cities grow and transition over the years. So, in the history that you've done and the length of time that you've been with us, like living in Toronto, fair to say that you've seen a lot of transition, you've learned a lot. So, what do you think we've gained as a city, and what do you fear that we're losing?
I moved here 20 some odd years ago, and like Toronto does a this is a controversial thing to say, but I could back it up. Toronto does a fairly good job at keeping heritage buildings and not knocking down everything.
Yeah.
Toronto was really bad at it for a few decades and got rid of a lot of stuff, which they shouldn't have. But in recent Toronto history, like compared to other cities, I'm from Vancouver, and they're like, this building's 15 years old. We need to get rid of it.
Mm.
I lived in a house in Vancouver, in Burnaby, that was like super old because it was made in the 1940s. I was like that's insane, and it's not there anymore. So Toronto does like a fairly good job at heritage.
Well, we have a lot of heritage protections, right? Especially in residential.
Some more powerful than
Yeah.
others. Some are
Yeah.
like, whoa, it's heritage status, but it doesn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Toronto's really quite good at like rallying around certain structures to save them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some success stories behind this. Recently, a developer was trying to take down Sneaky D's at College and Bathurst. And I love Sneaky D's. So I helped out just kind of engaging people to do the letter writing campaign, which is now emails, to the city councilors. And it's temporarily blocked now.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're upset about something, Toronto actually kind of rallies around these things,
Mm-hmm.
organizes. And there's a lot of success stories of people saving things.
Okay.
So there's like hope. If people are mad about something, there's things to do. And I often will be trying to highlight those things of like how you can fight back against something.
So why did you expand to Old Canada and Old Ontario?
I travel a lot across Canada, so it started out just being like, well, why don't I just do a video about the history of, I did a history of Brandon, Manitoba last year because I was there and I was like, no one talks about this place. I mean, like, if you're from there, you know it, but it's just overlooked. So I was like, I kind of want to just do the history of like places that are overlooked.
Okay.
And just give them attention because they are interesting. Even if they have problems, maybe that makes them more interesting. So, and then I started doing kind of projects. I would get commissions to do projects. We just did one for Fairmont, Banff Springs. So like, I have Old Canada, which is way bigger than Old Toronto.
Tons of history
Yeah.
at the Fairmont.
The Fairmont.
Yeah.
And like, I love the Banff Fairmont. So, I mean, everyone, literally, except for the ghosts. They don't.
There's a lot of ghosts in that
Yeah,
hotel.
yeah. There's some weird stuff going on over there.
Yeah.
But at least
do you tell
weird
those
stuff
stories too?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
We did a whole series about ghost stories at Banff last year.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where would I find those?
Well, it was most of my great grandparents and I, they were in the back of the shots. So like I'll have to ask them where sorry. It was a ghost reference. No, you did.
I got it. I was just waiting for you to
I was
finish
like,
it.
okay, this isn't very funny. What do I do with it? So yeah, YouTube, Old Canada series,
Okay.
Old Toronto series, or Instagram, Old Toronto,
Okay.
Old Canada. But Canada's fascinating. I think
Okay.
everything's fascinating,
Okay.
even boring things.
All right. So personally, I feel like real estate is about helping people find a place to belong, right? It's all, you've talked about it at the beginning of the podcast. It's all about community, understanding where you live, the history behind the community and all that kind of stuff. So the real estate side of it is, how do we find a place where our clients feel like they belong? And then your work, I think, pairs beautifully in helping them understand the places that they already belong to, right? So do you think that knowing the deep history of a neighborhood not just brings the community together, but makes you feel more deeply connected to a community? Like, is that what drives you?
The more you know about your community, the more you probably care about it.
Right.
And the more you care about your community, the more likely you are to pick up garbage. That's all.
I know nothing about my community other than there used to be a TTC roundabout where Loblaws is, and there were no roads.
I love roundabouts. So like,
I'm pretty sure you sent me the
I'll
picture.
Focus. I probably did. I mean, I think the cool thing about houses and realty is it really is a main part of your life.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big moment in your life, and where you set up and live is a big part of you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So real estate for me is works with what I do because it highlights a neighborhood or community. So at least for me, if I'm moving into a different neighborhood, I want to know about it first, both positive and negative. But if I move into a place, for me at least, I want to know why certain things are the way they are. So I think Old Toronto series working with Bosley has been really cool because it's just this, it makes sense. I'm talking about Toronto history, Bosley's real estate. So highlighting the history of neighborhoods is really cool because it just makes sense. But it also means that if people go to your website, then bosleyrealestate.com.
Thank you. Did you try a different website?
Well, I'm always like, is it .ca?
I actually have been fundamentally arguing with myself about the difference between .com and .ca. Part of me wants to just go to .ca.
That's what I've thought that for you guys.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to.
No, you didn't want to say it.
I didn't want to upset
no,
you.
I've been upset about it actually, as of late.
It's a thing. I mean,
Canada
is so important, and with Bosley, I love Bosley's history because you legitimately have a long history. Like, I always email you old Bosley things because I'll be on researching, and literally sometimes I'm like, okay, I want to send Kristen something old about her grandparents or something, which is a
Yeah.
weird thing for me to think about. But
But you always find something.
yeah, no,
Like you've sent us
I
more for
find a
our
ton of
archives.
Bosley stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's because your family's been so like prominent in the history of Toronto, like whether they're sitting on all these boards and stuff like that. So I also like the fact that the Bosley logo has pretty much been the same for so long.
Yes.
I like it.
I really
Good
appreciate
font
you
too.
saying that. Our agents might disagree with you.
Yeah, I mean,
But it's
I like
98
it. It's
years.
simple,
We're
but it's
keeping it.
also like I can go back years,
Mhm.
decades, and it's the same thing. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, here's a question that I'm pretty excited to ask because I feel like it would be entirely different than my answer.
Okay.
So, if you had a friend coming to Toronto
Yeah.
and they had never been to Toronto before, how would you help them explore the real Toronto rather than just, the tourist kind of traps?
I do
Where would
that.
you
Like,
send them?
I have friends from not Toronto come here all the time. Like,
Okay.
ton. This is literally numerous times a year. I have this scenario. I have a lot of my American friends come up here because they don't want to be there, and they come here, and some of my friends from elsewhere too. So it's a bit different what I show Canadians from a different place and what I show non-Canadians,
Oh, interesting.
because like part of it, if my friends are not Canadian, part of it is me wanting to highlight kind of larger cultural things.
Okay.
If my friends from BC are here, then they kind of understand certain things about being Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what I always do is just go for long, super long walks.
Okay.
And I mean, I think that's how you learn about a place. Just walk. And Toronto's so good at walking because each neighborhood is kind of connected to a different one.
Mm-hmm.
In Vancouver, you have all these different neighborhoods, but then there's like a 25 block gap of like industrial stuff or whatnot. If you're in Gastown at a bar and your friend calls you from Kitsilano at a bar, that's an insane thing. You have to go through different neighborhoods of like where you don't want to be. But in Toronto, like every neighborhood is kind of next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And in Toronto, at least downtown kind of thing, is each neighborhood is very distinct.
Yeah.
So I just literally walk with these people.
Is there anywhere you have to walk to though? Like, is there
Depends
kind of
on
that
who they
one...
are, but like Kensington Market is an obvious thing.
Okay.
Because it's interesting, it's kitschy, it's like got a cool history to it.
Mm-hmm.
I know like more about Kensington Market than maybe I should. So like part of me is like, I got this one. I'm gonna look so smart.
Okay. Okay.
But I mean, I'm proud of Toronto. I'm proud of being from here. So I just go for walks.
Okay. Long walks. Okay. So looking ahead, because you do a lot of different versatile things in your career, what's one story you're excited to explore next?
I'm doing a project right now with Michael Bublé and Drew Scott from Property Brothers. We're doing this.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's weird, but we're
Michael
doing this.
Bublé and Drew Scott.
Yeah,
What a combo.
they co-own. Yeah, I mean, lovely guys. I love them. They own the Vancouver Giants WHL hockey team. So we're kind of doing a mini documentary or documentary. I don't know which one it is. I'm doing it, and they're like involved, where it's about the history of hockey that's not NHL. So
Okay.
kind of what I'm doing about it is if hockey is such an important part of being Canadian, then why do we only support NHL teams and not the other leagues below it?
Mm-hmm.
You go to like a Marlies game and it's empty.
We go to Marlies games all the time.
I love Marlies games.
So much better than Leafs games.
Because I can sit in a great seat. And
it's great for the boys.
My kids are, they're like watching the player, actually can see the players. Me, I'm looking around being like, this is awkward. Right? So like why, it's very good hockey. Why is it not full?
Mm-hmm.
For a city that loves the Leafs so much, why are they not supporting their farm team?
Right.
So that's kind of what I'm doing with this doc. Mike and Drew own the Vancouver Giants. So like I'm kind of extrapolating their experience to kind of a larger cultural thing of like, why are we not doing this?
Right.
Why are we not supporting the other levels of hockey if we think hockey is so important to us? Is hockey important to us, or is the NHL important to us? And what I'm trying to tell within the whole thing is like Canada and our identity can be changed to kind of focus on these lower tiered leagues, and that can bring community and travel. Like if someone's near Prince George, BC, they should go see the Cougars. It's just a way to like engage with the country more, and that's kind of what I'm doing. So I mean, I have a whole bunch of projects on the go right now, but
sounds exciting.
yeah, I mean, it's diverse.
I also feel like some of us are not prepared to spend like $3,000 to go to a hockey game. So why not go to
It
the
literally
Marlies
can
game?
be that
It's
much money.
outrageous.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Like
for like a family of 4, if you want like decent seats, it's like, prohibitive.
It's so expensive right away. Yeah. And it is prohibitive.
Yes.
And one thing I've been upset about Toronto is when I go to Leafs games, like the diehard Leafs fans can't afford to go.
I know.
And then it's like
it's all full of business people who don't even watch it.
And on the lower level, it's like all these empty seats.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, culturally something's a bit off with that, because I think it's far more healthy if it was switched.
Yes.
Where there's fewer business people and way more people from Oshawa that are like diehard fans.
100%.
So that's my criticism of Toronto. It's
can
the only
I
thing we're
tell you what I'm excited for?
Yes, please.
Okay. We're coming up on 100 years, right? We're only 2 years away. So we started having a conversation about how to reflect that history in our videos moving forward. Personally, I'm very excited about this project because
it's huge. Like 100 years is weird. It's weird how cool that is.
We're going to take, Bosley by the decades and integrate it with Toronto and beyond by the decades. And I'm excited for how that comes to light.
It's pretty impressive that, and it's, a family company too. So it's like, there's a lot of people in my family that I just would not want to work with. So like my family couldn't do that. But
I'm not going to comment on the dynamics of family business, but I think that
we all know that there would
that exists everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yes. In all the generations.
And it's pretty impressive that you guys can do that and still excel and keep growing. But 100 years of Bosley is like, it's a flex. Like, I'm not just saying that because you're so
thank you,
intimidating, but like, it's legitimately interesting. And the fact that it's independent, like it's not owned by Nike or whatever. It's
just us.
And there's just so many cool, interesting things when I look at the history of Bosley, because I'm a nerd, but
I mean, we sold real estate with potatoes.
Yeah, that's weird for sure.
Right? There's a lot of weirdness there.
Yeah.
And
because of the different eras of prosperity or not prosperity.
Exactly.
So to some extent, like the history of Bosley kind of parallels the history of Toronto.
Yeah.
In certain ways. And not to mention just like selling property, but like being part of like neighborhoods and stuff like that, and the development of certain
building the communities that we see today, and land assembly, and it's really that I am fascinated by.
Yeah, and I'm being sincere. I find it interesting, and there's not many companies that are kind of independent. Is that the right word? Independent.
Yes.
Yeah. There's not many companies
I can
think of in Toronto that are independent and that long-standing.
Yes.
But legitimately, there aren't. So
it's an unbelievable legacy, and it keeps me up many nights. But I'm looking forward to that project.
Yeah, okay, deal. You've been talking about it was like literally like 9 years ago. You were like, okay, we're turning 100.
Yeah.
So we have to do something.
We need to do something.
I was like, okay, that seems pretty far in the future.
What are we going to do? Yeah. And then we got serious about a conversation last year, and now we're a year ahead and we've done nothing about it. But we're going to move forward. We're going to get it done.
I'm kind of last minute guy, so I would suggest.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm like the guy with like.
I wonder how many people would be surprised by that.
Oh, no one.
Yeah.
I
know.
I'm an open book.
Okay. Well, speaking of an open book, we have hit our closing segment, which is my favorite part.
Your
So,
favorite part is
my favorite
ending this
part.
discussion. Yeah, no, I get it.
No, it's
I hear
because
you.
where I get to learn all the fascinating things about you. Because
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I have
That's why.
some rapid fire
Okay.
questions. Are
I
you
can do this.
ready?
Yeah.
Okay. What's one lesson you've learned that you wish you knew earlier in your career?
Humility.
Oh, that's a good
And
one.
like for me, ego always like kind of derailed a lot of things. Sorry, I'm being like
I
giving you
love
like a
that.
deep answer here, but
Yeah.
like humility, like coming at things not needing to be the best, not needing to be the like get all the attention. You know, like there's a lot of stories that I want to tell that I don't want me to be like on camera for. I'm doing a project right now for the Terry Fox Foundation, and I'm doing like the video that is shown to all schools
Great.
across Canada. It's over 10,000 schools. So we're doing that project, and I felt that I didn't want to be on camera too much because I wanted it to be about Terry
Right.
rather than me. But so I'm also the host of the video, so I have to be there. So the old me would have felt more comfortable being on camera more. So that's one thing. Just check the ego, and then literally things improve.
Okay. Thank you for your honesty there.
I'm being too
I
deep right now. I'm
I
sorry.
also learned that lesson along the way.
Yeah.
What book is on your current reading list?
I've got about 5,000 books right now that I haven't opened.
I figured.
Yeah, but I haven't been like, it's just like, it's upsetting because I care about what's in these books. I do read some.
Do you like the covers? Like, what prompts you to
No,
buy the
like,
book?
I mean, I get sent a lot of books.
Okay.
I like, I find a lot of things interesting.
Mhm.
But it's like disturbing how few of these I actually like start to finish. You know, well, most of what I buy is or get is nonfiction.
Right.
It's historical stuff. So I can go back and read it certain sections and like if I'm focusing on something, but like so much of what I do is like online research.
I was going to say, where do you do most of your
I'm
research?
I'm all over the place. Like I'll go to
Yeah.
the actual archives physically and stuff. Except every time I do that, I'm going to be there for like 4 days straight because it's so interesting to me. It's weird. I've got a
It's
little
like a squirrel,
I've got a
squirrel,
little
squirrel,
sleeping
squirrel.
bag in the corner and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are a lot of cool Toronto history books. There really are. So like what I would suggest is like people go out and find some of these. There's a book called Modest Hopes, which like blew my mind a couple years ago. It's about actually I think you legit need to read this. It's a couple academics in Toronto, but it's about the history of like housing in Toronto, and it's not only about the social aspect of those housing, but like the architectural
Okay.
and like it goes through the demographics that it's kind of like Cabbagetown used these types of houses, and
Right.
here's the reason, and here's why they designed it in this manner. It's all,
Interesting.
and it's like the annex house, style. So it describes like the origins of that, but also some of the workers' cottages and stuff.
Okay.
I'll tell you about it, but Modest Hopes.
Okay. So, I mean, these questions, I think we got a real good answer to throughout the podcast,
Oh yeah,
but I'm going to ask
you're
you,
abbreviating
I'm going to
it
ask
all.
you to rule out history as an answer. Okay.
Okay.
So, if you were asked to give a TED talk, what topic would you choose?
Communities.
Communities.
Yeah.
What about communities?
Like how to improve communities and like civic engagement. Like, I mean, I'm not supposed to use the word history, but that concept of the more you know about your neighborhood, the better a citizen you become within that neighborhood. And for me, teaching people about the history of that neighborhood creates that ripple effect. So I think like there are small things that we all can do. The simple act of just telling people history. Out on a walk, be like, see that building? Here's a cool story.
Mm-hmm.
Like that simple act improves our neighborhoods and our world. like
Mm-hmm.
those little things. So I think TED Talk, I would kind of put together a thing of like a whole bunch of little, really, really small idiosyncratic things that can change the world and your neighborhood.
Cool. I'd love to see
Deep
that.
answer again. I'm sorry about that.
I'd love to see it. You don't strike me as a surface person,
No,
so
but I need to work on that.
I don't think you should. I think it's what makes you authentically you. I was, as you were speaking though, wondering if either of your children have the same kind of approachable idiosyncrasies that you have.
Yeah, my kids are like absolute like best things in the world. But my 6-year-old, Cormac is 4, almost 4, so he's at a different age that like he can't focus on things in the same manner. But my 6-year-old Lewin he's just so into learning. Like he legitimately loves learning, and his retention of things is wild.
It is
That's
wild.
why I have to choose what I'm telling him and
Okay.
which words, because he just remembers everything. But like they they especially Lewin right now loves learning, and I've been telling them a lot of history stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and some of it's probably not age specific, but because my wife's like, World War I seems a bit odd. I was like, no, it's fascinating. But they'll listen, and then they care about it.
Okay.
So I mean, they're nerdy and
They have the
engaging, and
same.
I am too. So
They have the same interests.
yeah, and passion.
And your wife, your life partner.
Yeah, she's a speech pathologist at Sick Kids.
Oh wow,
Yeah, and
that
she's
is a job that has a massive impact.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's literally amazing. And if she sees this, like she's super amazing. Wink. No, but she is. She helps. She tells me stories,
Yeah.
and like I just
My
cry.
son did quite a bit of speech therapy, and it really has changed his entire world. So
Yeah, it can really
meaningful,
change.
meaningful roles, you
It
two.
like to improve
Yeah.
that
It's
for
wild.
a child can completely alter the trajectory of their life.
Self-esteem and confidence and everything. So that's great. That's
Yeah,
exciting.
she's pretty great.
Okay. And patient, I imagine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's like the type A one. I'm like the type, G. I don't know what. It's something very different.
Opposites attract.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I know the answer to this one. Last one. What brings you the most joy in life? Not history.
I've been coaching my son's soccer,
Oh.
and I like knowing that I'm better at soccer than all the kids. Right?
Humility.
Except there's a couple guys that are kind of coming up quick. No, I've been like leaning into being a dad especially this last while, and I'm just like, it's awesome.
It's a lot of fun.
Like there's some like really cool aspects of being a parent. Not always, It's,
You strike me as someone who sees the positive.
yeah, I try to.
Yes.
So being a parent has been a pretty wild ride of like the hardest and the most rewarding stuff ever, and sometimes literally the most annoying stuff. Which
Yeah.
is there's a lot of annoying stuff.
What are you going to do when your son asks for his first tattoo?
I talked about this with him the other day. I said not till you're 7. I literally did.
Not till you're 7.
I got my ear pierced recently, and for no good reason. I was in Brandon, and when you're in Brandon, you go to Claire's.
Yes. Oh God.
No, but when I was younger, I had all
Hilarious.
these like piercings. I was this rock, punk rock guy, and for some reason, I've wanted to have my ear pierced again, and so I walk in there. My wife and kids were like a bit behind me, like a few minutes behind. So I saw Claire's, and I was like, huh. Went in, I was like, do you do people over 12? And she was like, yeah. So my son comes in, and I'm getting this piercing. There's like pink princesses everywhere, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna have to have a talk, because he kind of thought it was a
Yeah.
girl thing, and I get that. There were princesses literally everywhere around me, so we had a talk, and I was like, Ronaldo has earrings. He was like,
Yeah.
really? I was like, yeah. Doesn't he look
Huh.
handsome and pretty? So we had that talk, but I was like, when you're older, you can get
When you're
tattoos.
older.
You can do whatever you want. That's your body. but not till you're 7 for the tattoos.
I told my kids they had to be 30.
30. Oh.
I was like, when you see your skin starting to wrinkle,
Oh yeah.
and you can imagine what it's going to look like on you when you're older,
but,
then you can get as many tattoos as
but
you want.
as someone that's not as attractive as when I was younger, I'm glad that I got it there, because now I've just given up. Right. I could have like the best tattoo and I'm still 43. So
Okay, amazing. Well, thank you for joining us, Morgan Cameron
I assume
Ross.
this podcast's exactly like all your others.
It's not
Tattooing children.
Tattooing children. Yeah, I don't know that we've had that topic on here before, but
Just to
it
be
was
clear,
very
I
enlightening.
don't want him to get a tattoo at 7. But if he's a teenager and he does it without me knowing, it'll
Then
be
c'est la
exactly
vie.
like me when I was 14.
Right. Okay. Well, listen, thank you for joining us. We love everything that we have in our partnership with you and all of the learnings of the communities that we service.
It's a very positive thing. And
Yeah.
Bosley's helped facilitate that on a long-standing thing. So I think the city benefits from what we do.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And a very sincere thank you for joining us live today. I
Thanks
know
for having me.
getting here probably was a bit of a journey.
Yeah, actually it wasn't.
Okay, good. Good.
It wasn't. It was pretty easy.
Great. All right. Well, thanks so much. And thanks so much for listening to this episode of Like a Boz. Bye for now. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who might find it valuable. We've got more conversations coming your way with incredible guests across design, finance, wellness, tech, and more, all through the lens of real estate. A special thank you to our set design sponsors, Stage Right.